Nike is the largest sportswear brand in the world today. It earns billions every year, and top athletes like Cristiano Ronaldo, Rafael Nadal, and Michael Jordan have worn its products. But what most people don't know is that Nike was built by a man who once failed at his biggest dream, becoming a great athlete. This is the story of Phil Knight. Phil Knight was born in 1938 in Portland, Oregon. From a young age, he loved running. In school and college, he trained hard and won several races. His dream was simple: to become a world-class athlete. In 1962, he completed his MBA. Even after graduation, he continued training seriously. But one morning during practice, reality hit him. He realized that although he was a good runner, he was not good enough to compete at the national or international level. He was good, but not great. At just 24 years old, Phil accepted that his athletic dream was over. It was painful, but he knew he had reached his limit. Still, he didn't want to leave the world of sports behind. During his MBA, Phil had written a research paper about how Japanese companies were competing with American brands. He noticed how Japanese camera manufacturers had entered the U.S. market with better quality and lower prices, disrupting established companies. He wondered, what if Japanese running shoes could do the same thing in America? What if they could compete with big brands like Adidas and Puma? Instead of leaving the idea on paper, Phil decided to take action. He traveled to Japan and met a company called Onitsuka, which made tiger running shoes. During the meeting, the executives asked him the name of his company. The problem was, he didn't have one. Thinking quickly, he made one up on the spot: Blue Ribbon Sports. Surprisingly, the meeting went well. Onitsuka agreed to let him distribute tiger shoes in the United States. When the first shipment arrived, Phil showed the shoes to his former college coach, Bill Bowerman. Bowerman loved the product and immediately became a 50% partner in the business. The two began selling tiger shoes together. But there was a problem. Retail stores refused to stock an unknown Japanese brand. So Phil came up with a simple idea. He filled the trunk of his car with shoes and drove to track meets and athletic events, selling directly to athletes. Because he had been a runner himself, he understood what athletes needed. He could speak their language. The first 300 pairs sold out within 2 months. Orders increased quickly, but growth created new problems. They had to reinvest all their profits into new inventory, often borrowing money from banks. Cash flow was tight, and the business constantly felt one step away from collapse. Then came a major shock. Onitsuka demanded a controlling stake in Blue Ribbon Sports. If Phil refused to give them 51% ownership, they would take distribution rights away and find someone else. Phil felt betrayed. He had built the market for their shoes in America, and now they wanted control. Instead of giving in, he made the boldest decision of his life. He decided to stop selling someone else's brand and create his own. A graphic design student was hired to create a logo for $35. She designed a simple curved checkmark shape. That symbol later became known as the Nike Swoosh. After choosing the logo, the team needed a name. Several options were suggested, but eventually they selected Nike, inspired by the Greek goddess of victory. In 1971, Nike was officially launched. At first, nobody knew the brand. Competition was fierce. Adidas, Puma, and other established companies dominated the market. Nike needed a smart strategy. They began signing athletes to wear their shoes, something that was not common at the time. Then they made a bold move by signing a young basketball player who had not yet proven himself to the world, Michael Jordan. Nike launched a new line called Air Jordan. The design was bold, colorful, and different from traditional basketball shoes. It combined performance with style. The result was extraordinary. In its first year alone, Air Jordan generated over $100 million in sales. Nike had found its breakthrough. From there, the company expanded globally. It moved beyond running and basketball into multiple sports and full athletic apparel. By the 1990s, Nike had become a global powerhouse. Today, it stands as the world's largest sportswear brand. Phil Knight never became the elite athlete he dreamed of being, but he didn't let that failure define him. Instead, he stayed connected to his passion and built something even bigger. Sometimes success doesn't come from achieving your original dream. Sometimes it comes from turning your failure into a new opportunity and having the courage to keep going.